I think it's too big a question. I mean, I think there are two things that occur to me on that. One is obviously the change in the media world, and I read a paper comparing Hillary Clinton's marketing versus Barack Obama's in the primaries, and you see there two completely different marketing models: an old-fashioned messaging, give it out to people, and then Obama's use of social media. And so that's clearly the way the world's going. Mm. And it is interesting that there was a feeling of advertising almost being a dirty word as people were introducing themselves, which I think is fascinating. I mean, Dave Trott's bit in Campaign last week was probably right in the sense that new media won't necessarily kill old media, but it's so flawed. The only people who really watch advertising, pay close attention to advertising, are the people in the advertising industry. Mm. The people outside it don't, and research generates figures that reassure clients that people are actually engaging with advertising when they're not in the real world. And conversations you have with people in the real world suggest people aren't starting to be interested in advertising. So I think you're right, this is a watershed. And I think change will happen massively there. To the extent that I think advertising may go as a concept, because it's so flawed, it interrupts what you want to engage with. And as people become more and more time poor, why would they want to be interrupted? So that's one thing, but another topic I think is relationships between clients and agencies. And you don't have any clients here. And it's a bit of a shame, I think, because there's an awful lot of conversations going on within the industry and not enough about the relationship between agencies and clients. Mm. Because that's where I'm seeing, I mean, I go and have lots of conversations, and I'm seeing misery. I'm seeing people absolutely miserable. There's no sense of trust, there's no sense of joint, mutual aims and ambitions and trust, and we can sort this out together at all. What I'm really interested in is where does that take creativity in the future? Because I think at the minute, I don't see anybody being really very creative. I don't see creativity at all in our industry. And I think but it's the most powerful thing we bring. It's the most powerful thing we've got. I think it's being thrown away, it's not being cherished. And that's part of the distrust in the relationship between agencies and clients. So as we go forward, are some people going to grab the creative high ground and say, actually, this is about creativity, and we need to fight for creative ideas, and we need to believe in creative ideas? Because the current model is you've got everybody using the same research, not enough time, and they're generating the same creative solutions. And we're surrounded by just creative ideas that just look exactly like other creative solutions. And it's a desert, it's a creative desert.
We're used to the idea of creativity equals a piece of visual communications, an execution, if you like. Do you see that those two things then being divorced in future, and creativity actually not being anything to do with visual communications in the first instance?
That's the bit I think I'm not sure anyone's figured out. Do you know? Because I think
that is the question. It's like,
yes,
what's
it's a massive
creativity for? Where do you apply it? And I think that's why, for an advertising point of view, it's a very difficult question to answer, because there's no other background, no other discipline from which to move from other than making TV ads.
Well, except that I think there's a way of using. I think you're right. There's a way of using those skills, I think, but in a broader way. So if you said to clients, actually, what you need to, whatever brand the client's got, you say, well, you need people talking about this. So you need to create something people are going to talk about. But instead of just thinking a TV ad, which is where the media companies are saying, give us your money and we'll deliver this audience, which is all bollocks, yeah. Instead of that, saying, well, actually, we need to intrude into culture using your brand, but that could be a TV program, it could be a book, it could be an event, it could be all sorts of different things. So that's where I'm interested in.
Is there a danger that that's contradicting one thing you said earlier, which is about different kinds of campaigns, an old messaging campaign and a new campaign? And I don't want to get into it's not about...
I think you need to bring the two together. I think I don't know the answer, but I suspect that you need to do something that goes out there that causes a noise, which is the old messaging model, but that is only part of it. Almost a spearhead, and that actually you surround it with a different,
I think good creative businesses, if you want to communicate brands with consumers, you need to do everything. I mean, you can't limit it. I mean, the whole concept that we should be digital or we should be social media or whatever, they're all part of a bigger picture.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be creative in the future and you want to communicate a message, you have to do everything. You have to understand how to use digital just as much you have to understand how to use great design or architecture and how to work with these people in partnership.
But I also think it changed in terms of you've got that visual experiential side, but building an application for a client that solves a business process problem.
Yeah.
Agencies getting that kind of challenge as well. I think that's a different type of creativity, but
you
still as relevant.
You need to do it all, and creativity is absolutely vital because there's so much noise out there in the internet and the blogosphere and Twitter and everything else. The more creative you are, the more likely you're going to, the better your idea, the more creative your execution, the more likely you are to be seen. And the cleverer that you are about it. I think strategy is far more important than it ever was before, how to do it and how to aim your message. But fundamentally, we have to do everything. We can't sort of pocket it up.
I think one of the things that we have to start doing better is actually working PR and the elements of PR into what we're doing, and making sure that the ideas that we put forward, the creativity that we deliver, is spreadable by the people that we're targeting. That they will actually take this on board, and it isn't just outbound communication. That there is a way to get involved. That there is a way for you to take part. If it's solving a business problem, then that's it. It's got the utility. If it's entertainment, then going with that level of entertainment, but making sure that there is a tangible way for everyone. And there are so many ways to do that now.
The client problem is interesting because they've got the same problem as the whole creative industry, which is that they're structured wrongly for the new world. So if I would be a marketing director, I'd be very sad at the moment because I wouldn't know who to turn to or what to do. And if clients are going to innovate in a world where digital services and products start to come together in a seamless whole, then they need to restructure, they need to cut across their existing boundaries, just as we need to cut across them too. So the problem is always, who do you engage with on the client side? Do they have enough power to be able to influence right across the way? Otherwise you can't innovate and you can't do good work.
So Steve's point earlier about clients and trusting agencies, I mean, if we're talking in general terms about agencies of the future being nimble and having all their nerves exposed, you've then got to have marketing directors and your clients who are prepared to take the risks of somebody who is that agile, who is going to move that flexibly, and that involves a massive change on the client side in order to engender that trust.